me get the mic. Honey, I got something to say. Ooh, I like that. Can you turn that up for me? No, like, it's Maja. But you know, Maj for short. Ask Maj. What's up? What's up? It's your girl Maj. Welcome back to another episode of Quarantine Radio. Quarantine. No, for real. What's up, y'all? It's your girl Maj. Welcome back to another episode of Ask Maj, the podcast, where I am bringing you all the real tea. This quarantine has me going crazy. Oh my gosh. Can I just say, to all of those who have been personally impacted by COVID-19, personally impacted by coronavirus, you know, you have families or a loved one who, you know, has been impacted, who has personally dealt with the virus. I just want to say that I'm praying for you. I'm praying for your family to stay well, to stay healthy. We are praying for a speedy recovery, a healthy, speedy recovery. And for those of you all who have had loved ones, family members, friends who have passed away, my deepest condolences. And I just pray that God gives you strength, and that He comforts your grieving heart through this time. And I pray that you have joy and peace in the midst of just the trouble. And for those of you who have not been personally impacted, but you are going through the quarantine just like me and everyone else, please stay home. We all want this to be over. We all got stuff to do in June. My birthday is next month. Stay home, you know, do everything that you can to stop the spread. Be smart, stay safe, stay healthy. I don't know, find something to do. Keep your mind occupied. Read a book, learn a new skill, take a walk, take a jog, work out at home. Find something to do to keep your mind occupied. But please stay home so that we can get through this quickly. So yes, now that is out of the way, let's jump right into it. So a couple of weeks ago, I did an episode on why men cheat. And I had a lot of fun. It was very interesting to get different perspectives on why men cheat and to share my personal experiences just from what I've been through, what I've heard, my friends and family's experiences just on, you know, why men cheat. So I got a lot of interesting commentary about flipping this around a little bit and talking about why women cheat. First of all, we don't. No, just kidding. But so yes, I think the men and the women want to know why we cheat. Well, I'm gonna say why y'all cheat because I don't cheat. Oh, so no, we've talked about, you know, the baby and all his baby mama drama, and he's so-called got a baby on the way and he stepped outside of their relationship, but really they weren't really together. We talked a little bit about Kevin Hart and how he was under the influence. We talked about Snoop Dogg and how he made the comment about Gucci and Keisha Kaur. And now we've just kind of seen just the cycle, right? So I'm not sure if you guys have seen, but there was this video that surfaced of Offset playing a video game, and when Cardi called his name, he tried to hide the phone. And you know, Offset has a history of cheating and infidelity as it relates to he and Cardi's relationship. So then he comes out and he says, no, you know, it wasn't what you thought it was. You know, don't bring the negativity to my relationship. Okay, Offset, we saw what we saw, but if you say it's nothing, okay. I mean, we can only run with that. And then, you know, we saw this interview that Tammy and Waka did. You know, Waka had an experience where he cheated on Tammy in the past, and they worked through that. And so they just recently did an interview, and Waka said that he believes that his cheating helped Tammy. Okay, you know, I at this point, I just think our men are getting crazier and crazier. Don't really know what that meant, or why he even had the audacity to come out and say that. But okay, Waka, you know, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. But anyway, we always see all of these stories about men cheating, right? It's always the men who cheat, right? But we never really talk about the women who cheat, right? And to be honest with you, that's never really news. You know, it's never really a thing. You never really read about that in the blogs about women cheating. It's always about men who cheat. So of course there's this question that has risen in the midst of, men and women and just infidelity in general. Who cheats more, men or women? So first, let me say it's kind of a trick question, and I'll explain in a second. But I believe that men cheat more. In our society today, kind of in our generation today, I definitely think that there's been an uptick in women cheating. Just with the music nowadays, just with the dynamic of our relationships and dating, I do think that women are cheating more. And there's this new like wave of like feminism, right? That women have become way more liberal and way more comfortable within themselves. And I don't know, I just think that has spiked, women who cheat, more women who are cheating. So I do think that men cheat more. But I said that was a trick question because is it really about, who cheats more or who gets caught more? Because let's be real, I hate to say this as a woman. And disclaimer, I have never cheated. Believe you me. But I can say that women who do cheat are better cheaters than men. That's just the sad truth. And I think it comes from a place of, why men cheat and then why women cheat. So when it comes to men, there's this, kind of evidence of recklessness, right? So men cheat and they're reckless. It's more casual. It's more of like opportunity. I kind of just cheated just because it was there, versus women typically cheat for more of an emotional void. They're trying to feel something is missing. So typically when they cheat, the plan is more thought out. I hate to say that, but when women cheat, the plan is just more thought out. They're just a little smarter when it comes to cheating, and women just know how not to get caught. And typically, when a woman does cheat and, the relation, her and her husband or partner end up staying in a relationship, she ends up taking that to the grave. Because, we've already, decided that our repercussions for cheating are way worse than men's repercussions for cheating. A lot of men don't stick around, if and when they find out that their women are cheating. It just doesn't happen. So typically women take their cheating to the grave, which is sad. I get it, but either way, nobody should be cheating. That's the bottom line. Nobody should be cheating. But yeah, so I think it's kind of a trick question, like I said, because men are more prone to get caught cheating. I mean, you guys are just kind of reckless. You're not smart. I'm not saying to be smart when you cheat. I'm saying don't cheat at all. But I am saying that women are better cheaters than men. So if in fact women are cheating more than men, we won't know because women typically don't get caught. Usually it's the men that are getting caught, and that's what we're reading about in the blogs, on social media, in the news, in our group chats with our friends, about men who get caught cheating. So yes, and I wanted to address something that I did not talk about in the episode on why men cheat. So B Simone did this Instagram live. First of all, shout out to B Simone. And when I say she is the true testament that anything is possible, you can do anything. You can manifest anything you put your mind to it. If you put your mind to it. She is a true walking testament of that. So B Simone did this Instagram live where she was talking about, she was on the phone with her homegirl, and I guess the homegirl was at her friend's house and she could hear like her man's little boy in the background or something like that. So I guess come to find out the guy was like dealing with another girl, but B Simone kind of talked a little bit about how they actually weren't in a relationship, but they were like she wasn't his girlfriend, he wasn't her boyfriend, but they were, you know, exclusively dating or something along those lines. So anyway, the question came up, is it cheating if you're not in a relationship? And the thing is, I hate this question so much. I hate this question so bad. And I'm going to say yes. Let me explain why. I feel like a lot of men, matter of fact, men and women use this excuse of I'm not in a relationship so I can do what I want. That's partially correct. But two things I kind of wanna touch on with this particular point. Number one, regardless if you are in a relationship or not, if you commit to someone, if you decide and establish that you are exclusively dating and you are only dating each other, there is no one else, and you step out and go and deal with somebody else, that is cheating. And if you don't want to call it cheating, you can call it whatever else. Lying, deception, betrayal, whatever you want to call it, dishonesty, whatever you want to call it. If you made a commitment, if you decided that this is a me and you thing, we are exclusively dating, you know, this is just us, like I'm not messing with anyone, you aren't dealing with anyone, this is just us, and you step outside, that is cheating. But I think what happens is, you know, we get into these situationships, or, you know, we can even call it exclusive dating, you know. And men like to use this, I'm gonna say men and women, like to use the whole, well, that's not my girlfriend or that's not my boyfriend, right? But you still made a commitment to that person when you decide to exclusively date, when you guys communicated and clearly established that you were exclusively dating, you made a commitment to that person. Your word is your bond. So if you tell somebody, regardless if that is your girlfriend or whoever, that I am only dating you, and you decide to go and mess with somebody else, that's cheating. That's cheating. And the second point I wanted to touch on is this is what also confuses me. Kind of going back to like the whole like exclusively dating, you know, without it being a girlfriend and a boyfriend. If you're exclusively dating someone, it's because you like them. It's because you see potential in this person. It's because you see a potential relationship. You see something long term. You see each other, you know, you see each other building together, all of that good stuff. So why even step out? Why even step out on that? Like, why even go and dibble and dabble in other things if you're building with somebody? You know what I'm saying? If you see potential with somebody, if you're, you know, building on a relationship, building on long term, building on a purpose and a vision together, why would you want to even step out? But then there's the excuse again, like, oh, well, that's not my girlfriend. I will never understand that. But if this is somebody that you like, you love, you care about, you know, you're building with, I can say that 1,000 times. Why even step out? Like, I get it, right? That's not your girlfriend, okay? That's not your boyfriend. But then don't act like we're building then, you know? Don't act like we're moving towards something, or this has potential for a relationship. Let it be what it is. So yes, on the episode of Why Men Cheat, I gave y'all top 10 reasons. So in this episode of Why Women Cheat, I am giving y'all the top 7 reasons why women cheat. And I honestly just could not come up with 10. I could not come up with 10. So I came up with the top 7 reasons why I think women cheat. And I think I have a couple of legs to stand on with this one because I am a woman. I've never cheated before, but I have had friends and I know people who have not been so faithful in their relationships. And so these are the reasons that I came up with. So, and some of them are kind of aligned with some of the reasons why men cheat as well. But I think it's more of the mental space that women are in that drives their reason for cheating, which is different from men's headspace. So let's jump right into it. Number 1. Women cheat because they are unhappy at home, meaning they're missing something, they're trying to fill a void, they need more emotional support, and so they end up stepping out. And this can be the cause of two things. Either women do communicate what they're missing and they've said it over and over. They've told you about yourself. They told you what they're looking for. They told you what they're missing, and you're still not doing it. You're still not fulfilling that need. Or the woman does not communicate. The woman, does not communicate what it is that she's looking for or what it is that she's missing. So instead of, communicating those things, it ends up kind of building resentment. And then that's when she ends up stepping out. And cheating. So it comes from either communication and you just not doing your part, or she's not communicating at all. And I'm gonna be honest, a lot of times we as women are in our heads. We want you guys to read our minds. I mean, women, I hate to say that because I know I'm spilling secrets, but as a woman, I'm guilty of this as well. Like, sometimes we just want men to read our minds, which is typically humanly impossible. And so with that, we end up, not communicating. And then there creates this space of a lack of communication. And then there builds anger and hostility and tension and all of this bitterness and everything else. And then it leads to an unhappy home. Now the problem is way worse than what it was to begin with. And now she stepped out and she's looking for what she was missing in the relationship in somebody else. So yeah, that's number one. She's unhappy at home. Number two kind of plays a part in number one. They can kind of play off of each other. But number two is a loss of spark. And this comes when a relationship loses the spark. You become so comfortable. You find yourself in this kind of routine, this same old routine. Things become boring. Things become comfortable. And then the woman is looking for something more spontaneous. And then you have this man who comes and shows her the world, shows her different things, different experiences. And then she falls for him. That number two reminds me of a movie that I've seen before. It's called Temptation by Tyler Perry. And it's where the young lady, I can't remember her name. Her name in the movie was Judith, but she was with Lance Gross and they were in this relationship. They got married really young, but they were really happy. But I remember they just were very comfortable in the relationship. I remember he forgot her birthday a couple of years. And then they wouldn't have sex outside of the bedroom. They were only having sex in the bedroom. And it just became boring. It was just very, very boring, kind of the same old thing. And then you had this new guy come. He was Satan in the movie. Anyway, this new guy comes and he shows her all of these new things, right? He takes her on all these trips. He talks about building her business. He shows her all of these different ways and different places to have sex, and the things are steaming between them two and just exciting and spontaneous. And then she ends up falling for him. And it wasn't that there was a huge problem at home to the point where they had to either get a divorce or she had to cheat. It just was the fact that she didn't communicate. There was a loss of spark. And then there was somebody else who showed her something new, something that she had never experienced before. So she ended up stepping out. And that ended really, really, really badly. So in other words, that's the lesson that ladies don't do it. Don't do it. Tell your husband, honey. Tell your husband what's wrong. Let him fix it. So yeah, that's number two. Number three. Honey, he ain't hitting it right at home. I am sorry to tell you, but that is a huge reason for why women cheat. You ain't hitting it right. You ain't packing the way she wanted, and I hate to say this, but believe it or not, a lot of women will stay in a relationship even if she's not a relationship. I can't talk today. A lot of women will stay in a relationship even if she's not satisfied sexually because she loves you. Because she loves you. Don't get me wrong. That's not a justification for her cheating because, she feels like you're not packing or, she feels like you're not hitting it right. It's not a justification. But a lot of women choose to stay in relationships, even if they feel like, the sex isn't all of that because they love him. They love you. But then if things can take a turn for the worse, and then she ends up stepping out because she's looking for more. It's just not satisfying. Like I said, you're not packing like she wants you to. But I also feel like that can be, to an extent, that can also be solved with communication because you have to learn each other. You have to learn each other's desires. You have to learn, the likes of each other and all of that good stuff, the spots, all of that good stuff. Now, if she's not packing with, size and weight and stuff like that, I don't know what to tell you there. I mean, you can still have a conversation. The relationship can still work, but that's for y'all to figure out. Anyway, like I said, yes, that is a reason why women cheat is because you're not hitting it right, or you're not packing the way she is either used to, or she expects, or she desires, so on and so forth. So that's number 3. Number 4, this was another one that was on the list of why men cheat. Lovers from the past. And I'm going to go back to the same example that I used in that episode with the Ghost and Angela relationship from Power, for all my Power fans. They were torn apart, but they still have much love for each other. And when they came back, there were all of these feelings that just sparked back up. And to be honest with you, I feel like this is more of a reason why women cheat than it is men, because a lot of women always have that guy that they were on and off with, then they end up just cutting it off, then they came back later, then they cut it off, and there's just been like this on and off thing, and then you finally decide to like, okay, I'm letting this go for good. You get with somebody, and then here he comes again, and then you end up cheating, you end up stepping out on your relationship. So I definitely feel like this is more of a woman's problem than it is a man. And in terms of like lovers from the past and people just showing up, and then there's that spark because there was that high school sweetheart, or that somebody you just couldn't just let go, or so on and so forth. And you just had great chemistry, and here we are, the feelings are sparked, but you're in a relationship and then you end up cheating. So yes. Number 5. This was another one that was on the list of why men cheat. Revenge. I also think this is big for women too, because men cheat a lot. Men cheat a lot. And so now, like I talked about in the beginning, there's this new wave of like feminism, and women are feeling more liberal and independent and untouchable and invincible. And so now it's like, I can do it too. It's so bad. But, now it's like, I can do it too. If you watch some of Megan Thee Stallion's interviews and stuff, she's like, look, y'all can't get mad at me for talking about sex. We've listened to men degrade women and objectify us and exploit us for ages. She's like, you can't get mad at me for talking about sex. So I think it kind of goes the same way when it comes to just cheating, and like I said, the whole liberal feminist movement. Women are on top of the world right now, and they're doing the damn thing. So we feel untouchable, we feel invincible at this point, and even if it's not like a revenge thing, it's like, if you can do it, I can do it too. So yeah, it's still bad either way, but it is definitely a reason as to why women cheat. Number 6, I think this goes for men too. I did not think about this, but for the episode of why men cheat, but I thought about this for why women cheat, because I had some personal experiences with this. Not me, just some stories. Women cheat in long distance relationships, or in other words, convenience. A lot of times we do see these long distance relationships, and it's hard. I was in a long distance relationship way back in my day. And it's hard. So then you have somebody who's there, you have that person who's there and who's willing, and it's convenient. And I mean, it sucks to say, but you can be in a long distance relationship and having an affair with somebody, and your partner would never find out. Like, the chances of your partner finding out are very, very, very slim to none. So I think it's just a convenience thing. If your partner is away, or if your partner is busy, if you're long distance, and then you just have this guy, he's just there and it's convenient. It's like, let me, do what I need to do, because women are like, we have needs as well. And so still wrong. I am not justifying any of this. Still complete and utterly wrong. But it is a reason. If it's convenient, and like I said, your man is long distance, or, we always hear these stories about, a man being always away at work and so on and so forth. Again, just missing something in the household. Like, your woman is missing something in the household, so she ends up reverting to cheating. And a lot of times, I truly believe that when women cheat, it's not necessarily purposeful. It's, again, because we're missing something, and then there just happens to be somebody who comes and, takes our mind off of it, you know what I mean? Kind of sweeps us away, takes our mind off of it, introduces us to new things, new experiences, a new life, and we just kind of get caught up. Now, don't get me wrong, there are intentional cheaters. And first of all, let me say this. Let me back up. Cheating is intentional. Absolutely. You know what you're doing. But I think, like I said, when women cheat, it's more of we're trying to fill a void. There's something missing. It's not just, I'm at the club and I see somebody fine, I'm gonna, cheat on whoever I'm with. Now, men, y'all are reckless, and I feel like that's more of y'all's side. Like, I'm in the club, this girl came on to me, I took her home, and that was the end of that. And the thing about it is, it's reckless because it doesn't mean anything to you. So you can, men are easy. Men make it easier to, or have it easier when it comes to separating or compartmentalizing their primary homes from like living another life. And that's the scary kind of reckless part about it. It's just, you just do it just because the opportunity is there, versus women are doing it because we're missing something. There's an actual reason, some sort of thing that we're missing or something that we're trying to fulfill. And so I think that's the scary part about it when it comes to men. And then the last one, number 7, which I chose, and this was also on the list of why men cheat, is being under the influence. And I think this definitely applies more to men. But, as women, we get a little crazy too. And I know you guys have all seen the memes about, when you come home from brunch and brunch this and brunch that, you come home late and you send that 2:00 text. So yeah, I think, either way, I do feel like, it's not an excuse. But you can get drunk and, be in a certain predicament or be in a certain setting, or you're high or whatever. And you're in a certain setting and things just happen to pop off. Again, not an excuse, not a justification, but yes, it does happen. So yes, that's the top 7 reasons why women cheat. So if you have any other ones that I missed or something that you didn't agree with, please let me know. And women, I'm sorry for spilling all the tea, but I had to do it. I had to give y'all the episode. I had to do why men cheat. So then I had to do why women cheat. So yes, thank y'all so much for listening. And I hope y'all are getting through this quarantine okay. Stay home, stay safe, stay healthy. And thank you again for tuning in to another episode of Ask Smash, the podcast. Catch you next time. Let me get the mic. Honey, I got something to say. Ooh, I like that. Can you turn that up for me? No, like, it's Maja. But Maj for short. Ask Maj.